Well, g'day everyone. So today I thought I'd show you guys how I actually float trained Kahu. I know a little bit late, we already did the beach adventure and a couple of other videos involving him in the float, but I thought I'd show you guys how I actually achieved float training and get him comfortable going in and out of the float, and I'll insert a few clips along the way as to how he went along the way and how he really felt about the float when he was starting to build his confidence. G'day everyone, I'm Zoe and this is Kahu. This is just a little reminder that I'm not a professional horse trainer, so anything you do see in my videos is only intended to be a guide. So, with that said, let's get on with the video. And if you're wondering what I did there, that's just a quick release knot, which I will drop a link, I think it's this side. I'll drop a link there as to how you can tie this knot. I actually did that video probably a couple of years ago now with Jewel, so I'll drop that in there for you guys to tie your own quick release. So let's get him in the float. Now, Kahu's just getting comfortable back in with the float again because I've got a local show coming up in a few weeks, so I thought I'd give him a refresher course and get him used to being in and out of the float and start teaching him to self-load as well, but that's another video. For those eagle-eyed, yes, the halter is miles too big on him. It's actually Jules' old halter. His current one's actually in the wash. It was absolutely filthy and disgusting. But anyway, we're getting him used to being just at the tailgate again, which you can do with your own horse if they need a refresher course, or if they're not actually used to going in and out of a float, just get them used to being at the tailgate. Say, hey look, it's not a scary place to be. See, look, I can bounce on the gate. That's not a problem. There should be a block under that corner, but that's okay. We're not driving anywhere and it's just pretty level ground here. Kahu. So all I'm doing here is, there, good boy, is just giving him just a little bit of pressure on the lead rope and just waiting until he moves forward or makes a tiny bit of effort, and then I'll release it and give him plenty of reward. Good boy. Good. Good boy. Now if they want to get up on the ramp and have a look around inside the float on their own, let them do that. If their comfort level is just to pull the tailgate, let them get comfortable doing that. Good boy. And I'll drop a clip in here as to how Jewel actually responded to a straight load float, and you can see she was very optimistic. Even with food, she's like, nope, the floor is lava, I'm not going in there. Good boy. But Kahu's not really bothered by too much, even when forgotten about the barrier and sort of rushed him a little bit and it bashed into him, he's like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, okay, I'm fine. If that had been Jewel, she would have come bolting out of the trailer backwards and piss bolted off on me. Good boy. Now, as you can see, Kahu already knows the drill is to line up on the angle with the barrier. That's what I've taught him to do. It was something that I got on top of pretty early once I got him confident with going in and out of the float, was simply to stand nice against it, and if he was out, more angling out this way, then I just put a tiniest bit of pressure on his hind quarter just to get him to shuffle over. Good boy. Back up. Back, back. Good boy. And again, you want to make sure that you do all these sorts of cues on the ground, out of the float first, before implementing them inside the float. As you see, Kahu knows how to back up very gently. Good boy. And he knows how to pivot those hindquarters around very softly without rushing and being a bit of a, yeah, you. So, as you see, I'm not locking him in at this stage. As with training any horse, you want to make sure they know that it's not a trap to be in the float. It can be a nice, positive place. Yes. And then just with Kahu, I taught him not to be rushy at the tailgate. I want him to wait and take in his surroundings. You know, if we're at a show, it's going to be busy. You know, I want him to make sure, oh, okay, what's going on around me? Good boy. Offload. Offload. Good boy. And they gave me a perfect opportunity to implement the word that I want for him to offload off the float without rushing. So my word here is offload. So then I can cue him to offload without rushing. Good boy. Okay, so you've got your horse confident going in and out of the trailer with the barriers moved if possible, or just moving the center divider over if you've got a straight load. So with that sorted, now you can put the barrier back if you've got a straight load, or in my case with an angle load, open up the divider where you want them to be and start getting them used to moving the divider over and start closing them into the box. Now Kahu is starting to learn how to self-load. We're working on that, but that's another video and I'll put a link up here somewhere for that video as well. Kahu, walk up. Good boy. So Kahu does know how to load. Good boy. And there's a good example of him getting in his bay. Walk up. Good boy. And now we're going to put the pin in, which he's had in before. Good boy. And so we're just going to let him chill out here in the bay just for a moment. I wouldn't do this with a horse that's heavily spooky like what Jewel was, but with a quiet little one like Kahu, this is okay for a few minutes to sort of start to get him comfortable being locked into a smaller space. The lead up to this would also be getting them used to the barrier being moved while they're in position, so teaching them to move up alongside the barrier in the case of this float being an angle load, and start to get them used to the sound and the movement of the barrier without it going near them, and move them up to actually pushing the barrier up against them without locking it. So if they do panic, well, hey, you can move it out of the way and get them out before they hurt themselves. So now Kahu's at that point where we can close the barrier and he's just like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to chill out here in my bay. And the other thing I taught Kahu was just a little push on his wither. Walk up. Walk up. Good boy. Just to get him forward in his bay so that I can later tie him up for transport. Good boy. So now that he's all settled down and he's had a moment to take in his bay, let's offload him and just let him chill out, mellow out, and be a horse. So that's another sound that you want to get them used to if you've got a float like this one is, okay, can I move the pins up and down without actually locking them in? Are they okay with that? Or if it's to do with the bum bars, if they're in a straight load, can I rattle the chain if it's a chain style? Or if it's a bar, can I bang the bars in behind them without them panicking? Because if they're going to panic with that, there's no point in locking them in because they're only going to panic. Good boy. Ooh, stand. Good boy. Walk up. Good boy. Ooh. Now you might be wondering why I did that. I want Kahu to know that I want him to stand in his bay quietly until he's given that cue to actually be offloaded. I want him to stay here and not rush. This is safety for himself, any people around, or if I was transporting another horse or there was a horse being led behind the float before I offloaded him. So it's safety for everyone involved. Good boy. Back up. Good boy. Ooh. Good boy. Let them take in the surroundings at the tailgate of the float before you offload them. Let them take it in and settle down, and then offer those cues of your choice to offload them safely out of the trailer. Offload. Good boy. It lowers their risk of rushing off the trailer and they more clearly think about coming off of that ramp without half running off the trailer, risking hurting themselves and sending you into the mud with them. So, I hope this video was found helpful to some of you. If you have any questions, do drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, guys, Kahu and I will see you next time. Put it together to load himself. Good boy. Load up. Good boy. Good boy. Now don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date with what's going on in our world.